Hey, hi. I know you like the ones with the secrets now, because I had more people saying I like the secrets. So I'll tell you some more secrets. Maybe one today if something pops in before I finish this, but I'm just popping in to say I'm still here. I'm going to be here for as long as I can be here, and then I'll be gone. But you'll have these. You could look back on these and go, he was so sweet. He was so sweet and so brilliant. Why didn't we see the brilliance? Oh my God. The world has lost a really wonderful artist and human being. Anyway, that's not going to happen. So, honestly, after COVID, my house kind of went to hell. I'll tell you something. Prior to, I will guarantee you that I live in one of the most charming and let's see, unique and charming bungalows in all of greater Los Angeles, because I just got like a little way of doing things now, and I've done it professionally, and I'm able to take myself out of my own taste and put myself into the taste of my client. That's why I'm good at what I do. That's what we should all be able to do. I don't think that ever in my career I said, well, it's my way or the highway. So you can either like it and give me $2,000 or you can get out. I have a friend who actually thought here in Hollywood that would be a really good way to be. No, it wasn't a really good way to be, and everything dried up for her. Bless her sweet little heart. You don't get to guess who it is. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'm not going to tell you who any of these people are. So anyway, no, I haven't done that. But at my own taste, I learned long ago. My own taste kind of gravitates toward Petticoat Junction beauty and chicness. It's got to have a little sense of humor to it. It's not fun. In my house, I like things to be. Somebody said, isn't the Victorian style kind of ominous and kind of I don't know, what was the word they used? Oppressive. And I said, no, it's free and wonderful. The Victorian era was a celebration of everybody having beauty. And what was beauty? S-curves and gilding and porcelain and little bits of lace, ruffle, hip beaded velvets, gorgeous things, gaslights, things that would sparkle in the gaslights. That's what it was. And I'm kind of like that. I had a great apartment in Lexington. It had been a Victorian drugstore, and it was quite an historic building. It was aesthetic movement, was the way the house looked to me. I went to the art, prime example of aesthetic movement. But anyway, I had this big living room that was 30 feet long and 14 feet high. I'm telling you, huge. I had a big upright grand piano all draped out in fortunate and lace, big gold tassels. I had big crystal sconces and sweet little heart-shaped settees where little ladies would sit and have their tea, but I didn't have any ladies sitting tea there. But and mirrors, lots and lots of mirrors. And I didn't have a big cut glass chandelier, but I had asked my landlord, is there any way that I could have that hung and it still be mine when I move out, and I would like replace it with something lesser? And he said, all right, if you've got to. But anyway, I didn't have anything back then. I mean, I really didn't. When I looked, it was like I just made do with what I had. It looked pretty cool. I mean, I had this little table. And it was my dining table. And it was a table that my sister had said, this table is not even good enough to have down here in my basement. It was there when they bought the farm. I want this table out of here, and I want it hauled up to the barn. And I said, I will happily take the table. And anyway, I had it, and it was rough as a cob. How did I know 20 years later it would be like I could sell it at the Pottery Barn? It was so cool. It was literally put together with nails, and one end of it was, but you know what? From there, it looked symmetrical. It was strong. And I just took it and draped it in moire taffeta. Just draped it to its death. I'm a very good draper. Or I was, okay? I draped that table in moire taffeta and in a big fluffed ruffle. It was too much, but God, it was really good. And I knew, oh, and a bird, you gotta have a bird cage standing there all gilded with no bird in it, just going up and have a big finial on it, just standing there. Just so Petticoat Junction, it was pitiful, but boy, I will say that almost every place I ever lived, actually, the first time anyone ever stepped in, it took their breath away. They just got, actually, there would be a gasp. Now, back in dire times, there were times when people stepped in and it took their breath away because it was so damn depressing. and yes, I went through great long stretches of being a pig because for some reason I thought if I was living in a situation that was beneath me, it was beneath me to do like hardcore cleaning. When I first moved to Hollywood, I moved into what we lovingly came to call the wrist slasher up on the Scientology campus. And it was like built in like 1970. Woo, woo. It was an earthquake special. Move in. It was a wrist slasher, honey. It was depressing. It had a little balcony, but it looked out onto the balcony right across from you, and it looked down into the parking structure under the building. And there was no view. I never got in the pool because I didn't like anybody that was at the pool. But anyway, so what I'm saying is I lived there. I bought it because it's got a good wall for me to work on my murals for. It was a 1-bedroom, and that bedroom was big enough for me to bring my more important antiques and just stuff them in there, Rubik's Cube style. I'd just have them. I would just go in there sometime and open the door and look at them and go, one day we're going to be together. But for right now, be patient. I'll get you somewhere good. And anyway, I worked there, and then things kind of opened up. My friend's son, Tina, moved to town. Her boyfriend said, I don't want to be with you anymore. And she said, well, fine. I'll go be with Sammy Beam. And I said, come be with me, girl. We got this little house together and moved in here together. 2 little young, eccentric artists. Now, I'll tell you about Santina. I have named a name, but if you know anything, if you care anything about art, about contemporary art, if you know anything about what I consider expressionistic art, you will look up Santina, Sontina, Reid, R-E-I-D, Hall, H-A-L-L, Richmond, Indiana. She's not active in social media, but she has friends who kind of act on her behalf. And also, she got the phone number, people. She does. We talk about once a year. We just sit around, kind of whip everybody's asses, and then we have a good time. But anyway, so that's Santina. I got off on that, and we're at 7 minutes now. So I don't know how many deep secrets I can give you in 7 minutes. Okay. I'm going to tell you about a birthday party, okay? It was September of 1967. I was 5. I was going to start school. No, it was September. I was in the first grade, right? I had just started the first grade. I was 5. I was going to turn 6 in December. And my dad got my sister and got me new bicycles on Saturday. He took us to Bardstown, Western Auto, and said, pick out your Western Flyers. She got a big purple with tassels. I got a matching purple, but it was smaller. It was not a girl's bike. It was called a buzz bike. It had like a little simplified, truncated banana. It was just like a big one, but it was little. And I didn't have tassels because I was a boy. Okay, so anyway, we were still excited about those bikes when my sister said, come out here, I want you to meet somebody. And it was like, it was like September, right? So early September. And I go out and she introduces me to these boys who are sort of related to us because their uncle married my aunt. So we have mutual cousins. And also, we don't know it at the time, but later we realized that our dads were like best friends growing up, just like we were. And it was just really kind of started off as family. And like family, we'd bicker back and forth and be like, well, I'll tell you something, you beams. I say, well, wouldn't it be just like a right to say that? We do that. But you know what? If somebody says something about the rights to me, they're in trouble. Let's just say that. They're in trouble with me because the rights are my people. Even the ones who don't want to be, because there's no denying it. When Blanche married MT, and then Hook and his kids moved to White City, the deal was sealed. So, I know these kids live up the street. I do. We haven't been blessed with many kids on the street. There was one kid up there, but he never gave me any interest. I never played with him. But now there was a family of kids up the street. So my sister said, "Look, after school. There's an impromptu birthday party up at the Wrights on the front porch. It's Lonnie's birthday, and he's invited us all up for cake and ice cream on this very day. Very impromptu." And I said, "Oh, great." And she said, "Not you. Not you." And I said, and she said, "Not you. He only invited me. You stay home. Quit it." So I was like, okay. And she went on. And I was just like, everybody's going to be there. My cousins, Marion and Ricky, they were going to be there. I love them. And Gwen was going to be there. And I had an opportunity to meet new children that I really liked. These two Wright boys seemed nice. They had a little baby sister. She was, I hadn't met her yet. But anyway, I said, look, no, I'm not going to take no for an answer. When they find out who I really are, they're going to open up their arms and they're going to welcome me at that party. I remember going in and planning the outfit. I went, okay. I took one of my mom's aprons that was just like, the kind you tie at the waist. Not like one of my most fancy over-the-shoulder kind of ruffly ones that you could make into a big ball gown if you were playing in them. No, this was just mom's little regular one, but I knew if I tied it around my waist, it made a long skirt. And then I remember a pink, blue, and white striped towel. And I said, I'm gonna put this bat down on my head. And now it is beautiful long hair. I have long hair, a beautiful dress. And then I hate these shoes today, but for some reason there was a pair of white pumps. I guess they call it a kitten heel now. Not much of a heel, but severely pointy, and then they had a T-strap. And I don't know who had thrown those out, but I said, these are the shoes that I will wear to create the sensation at that party, because I'm going to that party. See, Gwen was already up there eating ice cream, laughing, having fun with everybody. So I got all dressed up, and I just walked out of the house. Nobody saw me. I didn't sneak or anything, but I just started up the hill. And I can remember the sound of the heels of those old ugly white T-strap pumps kind of scraping every time because they were too big. They were too big, so the heels would kind of drag and scrape on the blacktop. And I got just at the peak of the hill, just not quite into the area that was the dead end where my friends were having the party, and my family were having the party on the porch. And I was beaming. I was like, they're going to see me for who I am, and this is going to be a party to be remembered forever. Well, it wasn't that way. My sister looked up. She saw me first, and she screamed with her gigantic, healthy lungs at the time, "Daddy!" My dad was used to that because, she was like 9, so he'd been putting up with that shit for 9 years, where she'd whine, she'd scream, and he'd go take care of the problem because that was the best way to get her to shut up. It wasn't because, I prefer her and I see the way, it was to get her to shut up. But I've got another few funny stories on that one, but I'm not going to do it because the thing is, as soon as she screamed "Daddy," all the heads pivoted and all the ice cream, like everybody was like, And then Gwen came out and she's like, go home now. Don't come up here. You are not a guest. Get out of here. Get out of here. Now, I don't remember any of the other kids doing anything but sitting there with shock on their faces. I'm sure Ricky Goodlett was laughing because he was my cousin. He loved me and he liked a funny situation. Mary Ann might have even been laughing a little bit because she had a sense of humor too. But it wasn't like everybody was saying, get out of here, you're horrible. But Daddy heard it, and he ascended that hill with a big switch in his hand, and he beat my sweet little ass all the way back down the hill. And I don't remember asking my sister about the party when it was over. I don't. I just know that that the Wright kids had arrived on White City, and we were soon going to be on like Donkey Kong. Is that what they say? On like Donkey Kong? Was that to what does that refer? I will tell you, I know what a sauteau du table is, but what is it? What does it refer to? What did I? Yeah. Anyway, I know what a sauteau du table is. It's a long, fancy pedestal that goes down the middle of a big, fancy dining table. It's usually mirrored and raised up. And anyway, that doesn't matter anymore because 15 minutes and 15 seconds. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you that one of the people that actually the birthday boy of this story ended up being my very best friend for the rest of my life. But I didn't know it at the time because I was convinced that anybody that was older than I was, who hadn't actually just said, I love you, you're kind of weird, but I love you and I will look out after you. I didn't trust a lot of other people. So he was 3 years older than I was. So it took me a few years to trust him. And God, I don't know why he even became my friend, because I was a weird little boy. Mean, too. Whiny, mean, tattling, drama. But we were just drawn together like a moth to a flame. And at 16 minutes 04, I will let you go. And I might post this today, or I might wait a while. Anyway, bye. Y'all have a really good day. I'm starting another painting today. Yeah.